Do you have enough joy to persevere against all odds? Welcome to Kirsti Cast, the show where we hope to illuminate, entertain, and engage our listeners, helping them create the life they want. I'm your host, Kirsti Manna. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kirsti Cast. I am Kirsti Manna, and if you're not listening to this, you might be watching this podcast on YouTube on my Songwriter Girl 1 channel. So don't forget to go there and check it out. And also, if you're listening to this podcast, I hope you like it and you download it and you share it with everyone so that we can get it out there. So I wanted to talk for a second today about being joyful while you're persevering. You know, some of the words I think about when I think about persevering are willpower, goals, habits, purpose. And I've been a songwriter for a long time in Nashville, and perseverance is definitely in my blood. I was brought up to persevere, and when it comes to creating, you have to be able to persevere because sometimes you don't feel too joyful about persevering, about going for the end game, so to speak. A lot of times around the house when Bill and I are working on something together, I don't know, maybe something as simple as, cleaning out the closet. I always say, we got to finish the job because I'm real goal-oriented. I want to make sure that we get to the end of it. And part of persevering is that philosophy, of finishing the job. What did you set out to do? What was your purpose? What was the goal that you had in mind? I was so fortunate to work with an acting coach who really taught me a lot about goal setting. And that is something that's really helped me in the music business and in being a creative person, setting goals for, the week, the month, 6 months, a year, life, crazy stuff. What kind of goals do I want to set, and what do I want to see happen? What do I want to manifest? So if you're having trouble keeping the joy when you're persevering, a couple things that I would suggest. One thing that I think is taught for me is being grateful, counting your blessings within that perseverance, and what helps you find the joy in persevering. Think about all the great things that you've been given, the gifts you've been given, your talents, the opportunity to create something out of nothing. And I just think those things alone, should be helpful enough to get you persevering again. Something else too is really be clear about what your goals are. That's something that's helped me, is clarity. Because when I'm not, I'm just spinning. And there's no joy in spinning. There's no joy in not knowing how you're going to achieve your goal. And certainly when you're creating something, joy should be one of the top 3 things that you're experiencing while you're creating is finding joy in it, joy in the passion. Why are you doing it? So I hope you're going to think about that too. Another thing is you just have to try to believe in yourself at all costs. Believe in what you're doing. Stay positive in your endeavors. And I know that can be really difficult, but reach out to somebody, get somebody to help you, tell you, why am I doing this, and a lot of times if you have a close friend or somebody that really believes in your creativity, you can talk to them and they can really be a good encourager in your life. So I would recommend having that person's name on speed dial. Another thing too to remember is that life has seasons. Sometimes as a creative person, I've gone through a period where I just feel like I'm on a plateau. And then all of a sudden, something really wonderful happens. I have a breakthrough. And there's so much joy in that at the end of that long road of it feeling like a dry spell. And so really remember that too, that life has seasons, and so does your creative spurt that doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Hope those tips helped you. Stick around. We're going to be right back with Katy Dubois in our Shero Spotlight. On to the Shero Spotlight, and I'm excited to have a really special girl on the show today. She's somebody that I have known for a long time, and she actually came to one of my songwriter girl camps, and now she's got all kinds of cool things going on. She is part of the dynamic country Americana group called Maybe April, and they have shared stages with people like Bonnie Raitt, Chris Christopherson, Gavin DeGraw. They also opened for Brandy Clark. They received critical attention from CMT, naming them as 2018's Rising Acts. They have Sister Like Harmony, and their onstage show is really authentic and real, and they're both adorable girls. And they recorded their last album up in Chicago with the other half, Elena Stacy's brother, and that album is called The Other Side. And so we're going to also be talking to this beautiful girl about her new venture. Please welcome Katy Dubois.
Hi.
How are you?
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. It's so good to see you. And you are vacationing in Elkhart, Indiana today,
Yes.
just spanning the states, which
I
is
know.
nice.
Yes, we're up visiting. We're with my husband's family. So that's been really nice, with all
Yes.
this craziness and weird times to get to see family, safely.
Yes. And you're in a nice safe room. There were some beautiful plants and
Yes.
a beautiful window, so you're good. Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about a few different things today, and have some different questions. And I know we always have some good conversations, so it could lead to something else, which is cool.
Right.
But I wanted to start off by asking you, what in your career has been one of your biggest creative challenges? What do you think's been one of the biggest creative challenges you've had?
Well, they come up a lot.
That's funny.
I think it's honestly been trying to figure out what's next, because I feel like just when I think I might know, how this is going to work, or if this has worked in the past, then something changes,
Are you speaking in regards to maybe April, or just it creatively in general?
Well, I guess in general, but in regards, to my band and being an artist and everything, it's definitely been a challenge to take all the things you have to take on. So, besides just writing and performing, it's like we've had to be our own tour managers and driver and finance planner and social media marketer, and so all of the things that I think come along with it that you don't realize, where sometimes you got to focus on all that business stuff, that it can kind of drain your creative space sometimes.
Yes, and artists now are expected to do so much.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're being everything to yourself, and I think that's a real challenge. I agree. I mean, I think songwriters feel like that in general too, just because it's kind of like they're expected to, post what they're doing and who you wrote with last and that kind of stuff. So it's a lot to take care of. Something that you might have told me, but I forgot, because I think it's such a cool name of your act, Maybe April. Where did you guys come up with that name?
So we've been together a long time now. It's going really fast, but we met in 2012 at Grammy Camp, which is a camp for high school students hosted by the Grammy Foundation. And we were all in the songwriter track together. There's a bunch of different groups. They have production or instrumental or EDM stuff. So lots of things. But we are in the songwriter group, and we had to come up with a project to present at the end of this week to perform for industry professionals.
Okay.
And Elena and I, and then our old bandmate Kristen, were all there and wrote this song together, and threw harmonies on, and it was just a really natural fit. So we were like, okay, well, we got to come up with a name for this, for this performance. And so we realized Elena and I were both born in April, and Kristen wasn't born. She was born in December. And then so we were like, okay, well, the maybe. And then we were just trying a bunch of different words with April, and it just kind of stuck.
I like
and
that.
then and then all these years later, it's still there. So
That's so great. Well, how many years have you been together now, you and Elena?
so that camp was in 2012, and then she moved to Nashville in 2013. So I guess since then is when we've really been doing it, full time together.
Yes. And how did the dynamic change when you became a duo as opposed to a trio? What
Yeah,
changed?
it I think it changes the sound obviously a little bit when you add or take away any component, I think. But since her and I have known each other so long and worked together so long, it's a really easy relationship. So it hasn't changed a ton. Maybe we answer things quicker because it's, two answers instead of three. But yeah, I mean, it's been a journey, and like it's been fun.
Yes. Well, what do you guys like about writing together? Who does what? Are you both sharing the lyrics and the melodies in the room, or is one of you kind of lead in one way or the other? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it kind of changes every time we write. It's kind of a combination of both of those things. But
Mhm.
since we're like sisters at this point.
Yeah.
So it's really nice for her and I to write together because we're not afraid to say anything, or we're not afraid to tell each other like, oh, that's dumb, never say.
That stinks, you know.
Yeah. So it's a nice comfort level, and when you're with someone that much, you kind of have some of the same mindset and ways that you want to say things.
Yeah.
And I think it's fun too because we both like a lot of the same types of music, and with maybe April, we have some songs that are more traditional, and then we have some that are more pop influenced or some that are more Americana influenced, and like it's kind of fun to work with her on figuring out how we can experiment with all these different sounds, but kind of make it maybe April still.
Oh yeah, I like that. Well, I was going to mention that on stage, you guys have a great rapport together, and you really seem like you are sisters on stage. It's really fun to watch, and you guys have a really great blend.
Aw, I'm
I really,
glad.
I,
Yeah.
I really like it. So, what are you missing right now about Nashville, Tennessee, since you're not there right now?
I miss the community. I miss being able to go to shows and listen to
Yeah.
other people, just be around that creative space.
Yeah,
That's what Nashville is really special with the community that's there.
I agree.
And it's such an inspiring place, where I think everybody just understands each other, and people aren't afraid to try new things because strangers are trying new things and supporting each other all over the place there. So I think
Yeah.
I miss that.
That is a really interesting thing that you say that people really understand each other. I think that's really true. When you go away from Nashville, you recognize that a lot. And
Yeah.
the thing that you're saying about how strangers are trying new things out and people are being supportive and
Yeah.
getting inspired. I really like that a lot. That's good. I'm gonna remember that. That's a good description of it. So tell me one of your stay inspired stories. This is something that I like doing with all of my guests on the show.
Yeah.
Just a story about how something that inspired you, and it doesn't have to be anything about music. It could be anything.
Yeah. Well, I'll brag on my husband Zach some for this story. And
Oh,
it's
okay.
probably because we've been together constantly during this quarantine. But it's been really inspiring to me because we met playing a show. He's a singer-songwriter too, and was pursuing that after he graduated college and everything. And about a year before we got married, he decided, okay, you know what, I love music, but I am really interested in medicine too. And so he started working on going back to school for that while he was recording a new album. And he's
Wow.
gone back. Yeah, and he's in medical school now, and is super disciplined and just working really hard at that. So that, I mean, that's been really inspiring to me to see, like, you don't have to just do this, and just because you're doing this doesn't mean you can't have multiple passions or projects in your life.
Oh, yeah.
And just not holding yourself back, like if you have an idea, and not worrying about the timing of it, I guess.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's been really inspiring. I know that's kind of one story, but also just during all this coronavirus stuff, I've seen so many people come together and, you know, support high school seniors or college seniors, or, you know, people in nursing homes, or just, it's been really cool to see people being so supportive of each other. And I feel like people have come together a lot more than before.
Yes.
So I know that's kind of more general, but it's just, I've been really inspired by seeing that, and I hope it continues after all of this too.
I agree. Well, those kind of, it's almost like it's Christmas every day or something. People are doing all these little special things for each other, and parades for kids' birthdays, that you can't have a party with their friends. And so everybody's driving down their street and waving, and just all these really heartwarming kind of events that we're seeing go on, I think is really inspiring. And it, you know, restores your faith in humans.
It does. It really does. And and seeing families taking walks together, you know, just walking down the street. And I think, it's just people are bonding together more and doing things together and caring about each other.
Yeah, caring about each other. Well, you were saying about people walking down the street, and it, you know, every time somebody goes down the street, oh, it's like I've never seen anybody go down the street before, you know, because it's so cute. You see people with their little dogs, or, you know, they're holding their daughter's hand, walking, or somebody's pushing a stroller, and it's nice. I like it. It's it's the little things, you know.
Exactly.
It's the little things. So I want you to tell me about this lifestyle and apparel branding idea you came up with.
Yeah. So
let me hear about that. That's cool.
Thank you. So it was born during this quarantine, which is actually another inspiring thing, because I've talked to so many people who are starting new ventures and businesses and ideas during this, which is really cool. So I just wanted to do some. Well, first of all, I can't sit still. So
okay.
That's part of why. But I wanted to start something. It's called Music Pays My Rent. And
I love the name. That's really good.
And it's just to celebrate people in the music industry that do this as a career, you know, from songwriters to producers to manager, you know, everyone. There's such a big blanket of people in this industry. And I just wanted to celebrate people that have turned that passion into their career in music. And, you know, just to kind of bring awareness to the fact that it is a career, and that's how people put food on the table. Even though it might not look like a corporate job somebody might have 9 to 5. So it's been really fun, and I've had a lot of fun designing the things. You know, I'm not a fashion designer or anything, but I've just had fun making this apparel, like the shirts and sweatshirts and phone cases and things, and seeing people be excited about it and just kind of support the movement of it. And 10% of the profits are going to go to Music Cares.
Oh, great. So where can people support your venture? Where can they go and buy the products?
So the website is just paysmyrent.com.
Okay.
And then on social media, it's all at Music Pays My Rent.
Okay. And so you're selling t-shirts and sweatshirts and phone cases and all these kinds of cool things, and people can go there and check it out. That's good. And Music Cares is a great organization too. So thanks for
Yeah.
sharing with them as well. That's really nice.
Of course. Yeah. I felt like that was really important because they've been helping out people in this industry, you know, long before all of this pandemic stuff. But right now they are, you know, getting more applications than ever for people needing assistance. So.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's good. Well, I always love to ask my guests, what is their power word? What's your power word?
I feel like I have a couple.
Okay, you can have two.
Okay. I'm going to say joy, because I think it's important to find that in any situation and aspect, and perseverance, because in this career, in any, you know, entrepreneurial thing, it takes a lot of perseverance and just believing in yourself and consistency with that. So,
well, I all the time that I've ever known you, you've established those two words in your life, and you've always maintained it and represented it well. You're always smiling, and I mean, I know for being in the music business, you do have to have joy in perseverance, because you have to stay on it all the time. And I don't know, I just think if more people had more joy in their perseverance, we'd all be a lot happier in the world, you know, because we have to keep smiling in the music business, right?
Right. And there's definitely things I don't, but I try to, you know, shift that perspective. It doesn't always happen though.
Yes. Well, we're so lucky because we have found things that we love to be creative with, and we're, you know, really using our gifts. And so I know that you're very inspiring to other young people that watch you and Elena and in maybe April, and now in your Music Pays My Rent venture. I think that's a really good role modeling there, sister.
Thank you. I mean, same to you. Like, I'm so thankful to have met people like you, you know, through this journey, and that I've known for so long now. And, you know, I always know that I can come to you and ask advice or anything like that. And with your songwriter girl camps and everything. So thanks for all you do.
Doors always open. You know that. Well, I'm gonna ask you one more question, and I want to tell all our listeners to hang on to the end, because we are going to be playing one of the cuts from maybe April's new CD at the end of the show. So you'll want to. And where can people find Maybe April?
It is maybyeapril.com, and that can get you to all of the other things. But on social media, it's at Maybe April Music.
Okay. Well, I hope everybody will go and check it out and love it and follow and buy and all those wonderful things. And
since we can't do live shows.
I know. Aw, you must miss each other with that. Well, here's my last request. I want you to finish this sentence. The number one thing I'm grateful for today is?
I think connection.
Oh, I like that. All right.
Yeah, because I think during this time you realize how much you appreciate the people in your life and the connections you've made. And you know, even though we can't sit down and do this in person, we're still getting to connect and, you know, record this and do it over, you know, the Zoom. So yeah, I'm thankful that we can do that.
Yes, me too. And you look as pretty as ever.
Oh, thank you. I think this is the first time in a long time I've tried, besides, you know, I've like actually tried to brush my hair and stuff. So thank you for giving me that reason.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, I'm glad I was able to encourage you to brush your hair today.
Yes, I needed it.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, this has been really great to see you, Katy, and everybody. Let's thank again Katy Dubois for being here in our Shero Spotlight. Don't forget to check out Music Pays My Rent and Maybe April. We'll be right back.
You're my Shero, more than a hero, and I look up to
Well, you may not know it, but I'm a songwriter living in Nashville, Tennessee, and I love on the show to play a song or a snippet of one of my songs for you. This is one I wrote with my dear friend and dear co-writer David Kent, and we were sitting one day talking about what we were going to write about, and somehow the subjects of our families came up, and so we decided to write this song, and I hope you love it. It's called Family Thing. Mama just called, said it's gonna be in August at Uncle Kenny's farm this year. And I began to dread it the minute that she said it, but I'll probably be the first one there. And I already know who's gonna show and what I'm supposed to bring. It's a family thing, yeah. Dear Aunt Rita's a Sunday school teacher, but she's drinking more wine these days. We just buried her Boston Terrier. We say he's in a better place. And her brother Lester's scoping out investors, swears it ain't a pyramid scheme, it's a family thing. My little sister still likes to call me names, Daddy still complains. I guess some things never change, but we stick like mud. God help anybody who tries to come between. You know what I mean, it's a family thing. Oh, I love singing that song. It's so much fun. You can go to Kirsti.com and check out more of my music. I hope you're going to do that. We're going to be back with What the Tech.
What the Tech? What the Tech? Tech.
You're probably wondering why I'm holding 18 rolls of toilet paper. Well, I decided to share with you guys this wonderful new product that I just found that I believe is high tech. It's toilet paper made out of bamboo. I did a little bit of research and had been thinking for a while about buying bamboo toilet paper because so many trees are cut down every year because of toilet paper production. Something like 15 million trees a year are cut down for toilet paper, and I forget what the statistic is. I've got to read this to you because it's amazing. Let's see. Americans alone use 36.5 billion rolls of toilet paper every year. Wow. What's wrong with that? Well, cutting all those trees down, it's depleting all these wonderful forests that we have, and also it takes a really long time for those trees to grow up again. And with bamboo grows very quickly. And what's so beautiful about bamboo, 100% biodegradable. So you won't be clogging up your toilets with this bamboo toilet paper. Also, this toilet paper is so soft you can take your makeup off with it, ladies. How about that one? I've never really taken my makeup off with toilet paper, but I'm willing to try on this one. So I did some research, and the best and the softest toilet paper made out of bamboo that I could find was made by this company called Whole Roll Inc. And they are based out of the United States. And you can go and check them out. You can actually order whole roll toilet paper on Amazon, I believe. But I can't wait to use it. I'm not going to use it right now on this show, but I cannot wait to use it, and I will let you know how it goes. Meow, not bow wow. Meow, not bow wow. Meow, not bow wow. Meow, not bow wow. I love that little song there, Meow, not bow wow. And I get a lot of questions about cats. Everybody knows that I'm a huge cat lover, and I really welcome those questions. Keep them coming, and send me some pictures and stories of your cats, because I would love to share them with the listeners and the people watching this podcast on YouTube. Well, our cat Henry, I mentioned this last podcast, but he weighs 19 pounds. And so I thought I would look up what is the largest cat breed. And I looked that up, and it's Maine Coon. So it's making me think that Henry might have some Maine Coon blood coursing through his cat veins because he weighs 19 pounds. The largest cat breed, cats can weigh 20 pounds. So he's almost to the 20-pound mark. But when we first got Henry, we noticed that he was drooling a lot and that sometimes he would run away from his food. Have you ever had a cat that did this? Well, we took him to the vet and discovered that he suffered from stomatitis. Now, that word stomatitis sounds like it would be something about a cat's stomach, but it's really about inflammation of the gums, and it makes it really painful for them to eat. And so Henry had to have some of his teeth extracted. And a lot of people think, well, how's a cat going to eat without teeth? But cats can eat without having teeth. They can actually swallow their little cat kibbles without chewing them. So Henry now, after much research, he does eat a partially gluten-free diet. Can you believe that? Gluten-free cat food. And I also mix a little bit of lysine, powdered lysine, into his wet food some days. And so it's really helped him. And he takes sometimes prednisolone, which is a wonderful cat medicine that I actually put on his ear, because besides being a big baby, Henry is also not a very good patient. He is not very easy to give a pill to. As you can imagine, if you're 19 pounds, you'd have a lot of force in wanting to get away or kicking the person who is trying to so lovingly give you the pill that he doesn't know that would make you feel better, but he doesn't care. So anyway, if you do have a cat that has these kinds of issues, you might want to take them to the vet and see if they are suffering from something like stomatitis. Well, it's time for me to say goodbye to everybody today on the podcast. I want to thank you so much for listening to the podcast or watching it on our YouTube channel, Songwriter Girl 1. And please continue to listen to the podcast, download it, and share it with others, because we really want to get the word out on Kirsti Cast. I want to remind you to go and find me on Facebook and Instagram, and you can like me there. I hope you'll do that. And also want to say thank you so much to our sponsors, Outreach U, Warner Works, and also one of our new sponsors, Music Pays My Rent. I want to thank Katy Dubois for being such a wonderful guest today on Shero Spotlight. And at the end of the show, you're going to get to hear a little bit of one of her songs from her duo, Maybe April. If you'd like to work with me, I'd love to work with you. Check out what I can do for you as a mentor, as a consultant, or just help you with career goals. You can find that information at Kirsti.com and also at songwritergirl.com. I'm going to be back next week with Kirsti Cast. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you'd like to be a guest, or you know somebody who would make a fantastic guest on Kirsti Cast, please email me at info@songwritergirl.com. Hope you're going to have a wonderful week. Hope you're going to check in with me again soon. And whatever you do, stay inspired. See you next time. You've been listening to Kirsti Cast.